Hello, and welcome back for the third and final time to Fairytale TV. We have some wonderful programming for you today, but before we start, let's catch up with what we showed you last time. We had a representative on from the Stepmothers Union. She wanted to prove that not all stepmothers are evil or nasty.
For either of them, he has become corpulent and flatulent, and she has had work done by her godmother.
Well, we don't think that went as well as they expected. We then headed over to Mum's kitchen for a good gossip about love and pies.
My speciality, chili bean and potato. Oh, and a few jam tarts for our Jack. Yeah. And not one soggy bottom amongst them. No, I've just got
Wonderful
one more tray
stuff.
to come out and then we're done.
We then heard from a local entrepreneur who told us all about her successful cleaning company.
I can't help loving the shine on a nicely clean floor. Oh, the smell of furniture polish. A good toilet duck.
And finally, a large angry man who shouted a lot told us all how Fairytale Land is broken.
To make room for pensioners for writing a tweet. Actually, that's not a bad idea. It'll be warmer in strange ways than it will be in my gaff this winter.
Oh dear. He was very angry, wasn't he? We're surprised he's not walking around with a Make Fairytale Land Great Again hat on. If he can get one to fit. Anyway, as the complete opposite, the first person we're going to hear from today is the fairy godmother, bringing her sweetness and light to all in the land.
Oh, I'd been watching them. Those horrible stepsisters. I'd seen the way they'd been picking on her. Making her work from morning till night, dressing her in rags and feeding her only on scraps. They were so jealous of her beauty. Oh yes, underneath all of those layers of grime, she was beautiful. So when the prince's ball came, and they cut her dress to ribbons and locked her in the cellar, I was only too happy to intervene. A quick spell to transform her and provide her with a carriage. Another quick spell just to ensure the prince fell madly in love with her, despite the smell. It was short notice, there wasn't much time for a shower. And my work was done. Or so I thought. I told the stupid girl that she had to be home by midnight. Otherwise, it would all go tits up. And did she listen? No. They never listen. She just danced the night away, staring into her prince's eyes. They lit up the dance floor. He was like John Travolta to her Olivia Newton-John, like Fred Astaire to her Ginger Rogers, like Anton Dubek to her Anne Widdecombe. Actually, no, forget the last one, but you get the picture. So when midnight came and she dashed off to get into her carriage, I made sure that she left her glass slipper behind. So the next morning when the prince came calling, slipper in hand, and she produced the matching one, the job was done. I mean, I suppose he really could, of course, just looked at her face. That would have been a lot more straightforward, but whatever. It worked. And they were married within the week. And did I get an invite? Did I shite? I was forgotten about. I was cast aside. She had got what she wanted, and that was all she cared about. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but she invited those horrible stepsisters. Oh, apparently everything was forgotten, all forgiven. Well, bollocks to that, I say. And you know that Sleeping Beauty, she was no different. Not a word of thanks. So I'll show her. Like I showed that Prince Adam. Although you'll probably know him better as the Beast. I'll put that jumped up, self-centred little tart in her place. All it will take is one reversal spell. Quick as a flash. She'll be back in that cellar in her rags, Faster than you can say Walt Disney. And maybe then she'll appreciate it the next time someone does her a favour. Now, where did I put that bloody wand?
Oh well, sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover. We do hope that the fairy godmother is back to her old self soon, after a nice rest. And now, one for all those interior design aficionados amongst you, a short piece about mirrors. And we'll also learn about a surprising new direction for the huntsman.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. No, it's no good. Feel I'm an idiot. Don't even know if it's the right mirror. I mean, it looks like it. But after all these years, and I really only caught a glimpse of it in that woman's wall back then. Nah. Can't be the same one. Can it? Huh. When I look back now, it all seems a bit like a bad dream. I can't really recognise who I was then. A huntsman. Me. I mean, look at me now. Joint proprietor of a whole food vegan cafe. No one would believe what I used to be. I never told Clive. He'd probably disown me. I don't think my heart was in it from the start. No pun intended. All the blood was playing havoc with my dry skin. But when she told me to take Snow White into the forest and kill her, it was literally the last straw. Obviously I didn't do it. But just the thought of all that... all that offal. I haven't touched meat since. Plant-based diet all the way for me. Though I do tend to avoid apples. We all have a past though, don't we? Even Clive's admitted he used to quite enjoy the Benny Hill show. Different times, eh? I still see Snow. She's dropped the wine, too privileged. She and the Prince split years ago, of course, and she's working for an ex-offenders charity now. I think she wanted to help the dwarfs. People of restricted growth, I should say. After they came out of prison, getting back into employment, that sort of thing. They've done really well, actually. Very active in the fight against climate change. They're out protesting against fossil fuels and fracking every weekend. They've really grown as people. Oh, sorry, that sounds a tad insensitive, but you know what I mean. Anyhow, this mirror, he just turned up in the cafe this afternoon. Someone left it propped up against the coffee machine with a tag saying, Happy Christmas. No idea who. I mean, do they think I'm that insecure that I need a... Still, it is nice to get a compliment, isn't it? Clive had a bit of a dig about my wrinkles yesterday, which was uncalled for, I thought. Oh, sod it. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
Well, we all know who's the fairest of them all in Fairytale TV. It is, of course, me. And now, in our behind the scenes in the kitchen slot, we hear from a local girl made good.
I said 2 kilos, not 20. And will someone please go and wipe down table 30? I don't know. You just can't get the staff these days. Well, actually, you couldn't get the staff in the old days when I was the chef down at the old Roebuck Inn. Yes, chef, or yes, chef, as they say to me now. We didn't have a lot of clientele. Dick would come in with Alice and his cat, which put a lot of the punters off. The cat, I mean, not Alice. She's lovely. But who wants cat hair in their leek and potato pie? Well, I say leek. It was more onion. And the ale was more cider. But it gave me an idea of some recipes. Better than chucking some Tesco's frozen in the microwave and waiting for it to go ding. Of course, after we got a little bigger, and better, we came to the attention of kitchen nightmares. He walks in, doesn't he? Swearing his head off and telling us we're all useless. Well, he was right about my son Jack, who he was always catching out the back smoking. Idle sod. But he really got me thinking about my menu. And under his tutelage, we quickly became the #2 gastro pub on TripAdvisor within 2 miles of Bow Bells. Not the Bow Bells that ring. That's Dick's thing. No, I mean the Bow Bells pub on Bow Road. They were #1. But a further 6 months down the line, and we'd overtaken them. An oasis in a changing world, they called us. Got on BBC London and the One Show. Then Heston called. Wanted me to join him in Knightsbridge. Very la-di-da. Like take or leave bacon and egg ice cream. But I do know how to triple cook a chip. Luckily, by that time, Dick had become mayor. And a good one he was too. Not the sort that gets stuck on a zip wire and forgets how many kids they've got. Brought a lot of business to the new place. Foreign dignitaries, that kind of thing. Left the cat at home, of course. And now, here I am. My own place by the river. Bought it off Ramsay for a song. Michelin star and everything. Pop by if you're around. We do a lovely fish finger sarnie. Only a tenner. Jack! Get off your arse and do some work.
£10 for a fish finger sarnie? Cheap at half the price. Especially in London. Finally tonight, we have some found footage to share with you. You all remember that our first piece in our very first broadcast was from Mrs. Giant. Well, in this found footage, sent in anonymously, we have another person claiming to be Mrs. Giant.
I was married to the Giant for over 30 years. He wasn't so bad for the first 10, maybe 15 years. But then he started to get ideas. When he found that goose, I think. No, I know, that's when it all changed.
Intriguing. Shall we see some more?
Got obsessed. And that hussy of a harp, that was the last straw for me. I gave him an ultimatum. He gave me a beating. Honestly, I thought nobody was ever going to grab those beans. It wasn't an easy task growing them in the secret, you know, but getting the witch to make them magical, that was the tough part. To be honest, it wasn't my only try either. The merchant, he was the first one. I gave them to him and he decided to eat them for lunch. Let's just say he got a very bad stomachache. Didn't last long though, but the smell was atrocious. May he rest in pieces. And then the witch messed up the spell. I don't know how she misread beanstalk for bean bounce. Mind you, I have noticed marks on the side of her nose when she comes to visit. I think she's too proud to wear lenses in public. Those beans bounced all over the kingdom. It was days before they tired out. I think most of the damage was to windows, but there was 1 or 2 black eyes. Thank goodness nobody decided to investigate too closely. At that point, I did consider giving up. But, like they say, 3rd time's a charm. So I gave it one last try. That lad, John. Oh, never mind. He was fantastic. And when the giant went tumbling down the stalk, I laughed so much. It hurt. So now I'm in this lovely little cottage. Well, obviously not that little, but enough for me. And it's warm. No more drafty rooms or nasty grumpy husbands. No being locked in my room for my own good. No being kept awake at night by that awful singing, or honking for that matter. So now I'm definitely living my happily ever after. Cheers.
Well, there you have it. Who is the real Mrs. Giant? You can go back to our first programme and make your minds up for yourselves. Don't press the wrong buttons when you do that though. He doesn't like it. Buttons? Get it? And that is it from Fairytale TV. Oh yes it is. I said, oh yes it is. Thank you for watching, and remember, if it doesn't sound true, it doesn't mean that it's made up. Goodbye and Happy New Year.